got on some loose-fitting pants, you put on a nice athletic shirt, maybe a little extra deodorant, whatever you have to do, you know, to make sure you've got no excuses. Sorry about the brief intermission.
Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties. This is day 1, so we're still trying to work some stuff out.
It's doing good now, though. So we are able to record these and upload these once we're done. And yes.
If between now and Thursday, which is day number 2, Thursday, you want to review some of the things that we went over today, we will upload a video of day 1. So, look forward to that.
So, what would you like to say about the type of training that you do?
The type of training that I do is called Kung Fu, or Kung Fu, popularized by famous martial artist Bruce Lee, also Jackie Chan, also Jet Li, although they all have various styles of Kung Fu. My style of Kung Fu is called San Soo Kung Fu, which is a type of Kung Fu that my Lao Sifu brought from China. And I know there are different types of San Soo Kung Fu out there, or you could just call it San Soo, everybody calls it that, where it tends to be more like kickboxing-y or like sport-oriented. This training is very foundation-based, you know, so we're learning our stances, how to breathe properly, different movements. There is some fighting in there, but a lot of our training will be just the foundations because it makes you strong. And it pushes you to your limits, and that's why we're here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. That's the training that I know and love. And so hopefully I can share a little bit of it with you. And Micah.
Hi.
This is our dog. This is her first time she's ever been allowed on the couch. This is day 1 of everything going downhill. Off stream. But we didn't have anywhere else to put her. So, the floodgates have been opened, if you will.
Are we all ready?
Do you know if the sound levels are okay?
I think they should be. If anybody's in the chat, then let us know if the sound levels are good.
Because I have a
Definitely
tendency to speak very softly, so I'm trying to project without being too loud. So, yes.
We could probably turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
Alright. Oh, hello, Logan Yosh.
Hi, Yosh!
Hi.
No, this isn't the new Today of All Days thing. This is the new Kung Fu training thing. So, if you want to get in shape and get strong,
Learn how to kick some butt.
and learn how to kick butt too, because that's always fun, get some sweatpants on and follow along. Here we have Micah.
Test dummy number 1.
A perfect example of somebody...
This is the before shot.
Oh my god. Perfect example of somebody who might not have all of his stances down 100%, might not have the perfect movements, he might slip up here and there, so he's going to be our example of a student.
Not to do.
Yes. But I will occasionally point over to Micah and adjust him, and when I do so, you need to check yourself and see, oh, was I doing that? Am I doing that? Oh, I better not do that. And then that's how we're gonna have to do it. Because obviously I'm not there in person to make sure you're straight.
Yeah.
Alright. It's 5:13.
Yeah,
Let's do this. Is everything good?
Yep, everything's good.
He's a slave driver over here.
I'm trying to get it all set up, so we'll see.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. Where do you want me?
Do you have space to do our salute?
We can... Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Ooh, I gotta see if I remember it.
Uh-huh. Ready?
Hi.
Chicken kai shirt.
Oh.
Cheese so su.
Ah! Okay. Alright, we gotta teach them how to do it too.
No,
Hi.
that's later.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Chicken kai shirt. Cheese so su. Now we may begin. That's our little salute to be like, bippity, we're starting. So, you now will be over here.
Hi.
Do you have space?
Hi.
So we're starting with windmills.
Yeah, I know it.
Okay. You sound so happy about it.
My favorite.
So, we're starting with what are called windmills. So you imagine a windmill, that's what you must become and embody. So, first off, if you're starting with your feet apart about shoulder width, just relaxed, you need to widen them. A good way to do it is to kind of walk out your feet a few times, like this, tweet, 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 as Micah is doing, until, I'd say if you do this, about a foot on each side, your feet are out there, about a foot from, your hips on each side, or from your shoulders, then that's wide enough. You don't want to, do a split or anything. Then you bend your knees. And this might be a little uncomfortable. It's definitely going to be uncomfortable. And make sure your feet are facing forward. This is going to be one of the most difficult things. And it's a very basic thing. Micah has a tendency to walk a little, like wide. What do you call that? Wide-footed?
I guess.
Duck. He's got the duck foot, I have a tendency to be pigeon-toed. So together we make a full regular person. But separately, we have our own struggles with keeping our feet straight. Not like this, not turned inward, but straight. And you're definitely going to feel it uncomfortably stretching right here by, the bottom of your shin, all around your ankles, sometimes down into your feet. This whole area will feel like it's being stretched. And it's not going to be comfortable, but it also shouldn't be painful. So, as long as you keep your feet straight, there you go. You're good to go. This is your first stance to learn. Feet straight, knees bent, and you want to have almost a 90-degree angle from your knee down to your feet. Almost 90 degrees.
That's pretty low.
Almost 90 degrees.
Okay.
Not too,
find my lock point.
Yeah, not like 30 degrees, but not 90 degrees.
Not this.
Right in the middle, like 75 degrees, like 60 degrees. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Most important thing with this is to keep your back straight and to keep your shoulders down. Don't scrunch them up. Keep them down. So, feet straight, knees bent, roughly 60, to 70 degrees. Back straight, shoulders down. And the one last thing when learning your stances is
Hips tucked.
tuck your hips. Allow me to demonstrate. Many people don't realize this, but when they stand in everyday life, they have a tendency to let their hips roll backwards like this. So they just kind of stand around, not paying attention, and that's, it's fine for just going about everyday life, but not for training. So, what you need to do is take your hips and tuck them underneath you so that you feel, your whole back and your torso and your stomach kind of line up straight. You don't want to be like this, though. That's too far. If you're tucking your hips in and your back is starting to curve, because naturally if you tuck your hips too far, your shoulders want to curve up to try to balance it, then you've gone too far. So you just tuck your hips just enough to feel like there's a stick in your back and you're straight, like a plank. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Slacking off. He's slacking off. Okay. So, relax. Wiggle your legs. Stretch them out a little bit. Poor guy. He's training the hardest out of anybody. Make you hold it as an example. All right. So, we have... I'll go back a little bit. No, I'll go right here.
Very good.
All right. So, your feet should still be apart, about a foot out on each side from your hips. Your feet are straight, not bent any sort of direction, but straight. Your knees are bent, and your hips are tucked under you, and your shoulders are down. And this is your first stance. This is called the horse stance. Let me get situated. The horse stance. Now, we're going to do our first exercise. It's usually our warm-up, so we will do this every time. Right? Right. This is called windmills. And before we do that, one last thing about your feet is you have to take your toes, and this is going to sound weird because they're toes, but you have to grab the ground with your toes. Grab the ground. Oh, you can't really tell from looking at Micah's feet, but this is the ground, and this is your foot. You don't want to ball up your toes so that you're standing on top of them like this or anything. What you want to do is to take your toes and kind of press them up against the ground so that they're kind of doing this number. And you'll feel it. It's going to feel really weird, but that's called grabbing the ground with your feet. Almost like, pretend your feet are hands and they're grabbing the ground and they're going to scrunch up a little bit. And now we're ready. We're grabbing the ground with our toes. We've got our hips tucked underneath us. We've got our shoulders down. Now, we're going to take our arms and we're going to make big circles. We can start with just one hand. Start with your right hand, if that's your dominant hand. You're going to make a big circle, just like this. And you want to make sure your circle goes about a hand above your face, just a little bit more outward, and all the way, almost completely extended sideways, and then all the way down. So it's going to go past, your pelvis and your groin area, and then come all the way across, not like crazy across where you have to move your shoulder, but just across so that you're still straight. Put your arms across and back up again. Nice big circle. You're not putting a lot of tension or anything like that into it. You're just going with the flow, making a circle. Now, you're going to take your other hand, and while you're making this upward circle with your first hand, which, I use the right hand, and I call this the up circle because you go from the inside up. While you're doing that, you're going to take your left hand now, and you're also going to start making up circles. And you're going to alternate. So you're going to bring one of them up, going to bring the next one up, and the next one. And you're going to move them at the same time, opposite circles. But both of them are going across your body and up. Like you're going to say, hello to somebody. Hi. But make sure you're not starting to make them tiny with little T-Rex hands and just moving at your elbows, because that's not good. Almost a fully straight arm. So that when you're up here with one hand, you're down here with the other hand. And when you're across, you've got both hands across. Again, one's up, one's down. Then you've got both of them across again. And we're just going to do your upward windmills. Nice and easy. Nothing too crazy. You just want to start to, make sure you can stretch out everything, get your blood flowing a little bit. And most importantly is to make sure you're breathing, because doing this over and over again surprisingly can take a lot out of you. And before you know it, you're taking short little breaths like, no, you have to take big long breaths. So every time you make a full circle, at least make sure you're drawing a big deep breath. So I guess it's longer than just one circle's worth. That's like 2-3 circles worth. That's how big and deep of a breath you have to take. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, it's the time to check. Are your shoulders up? Have you scrunched up your shoulders? Because most people do. Make sure they're down and you're doing your windmills. You don't want scrunch arms like this. Nice, straight across. Make sure you're not doing tiny circles. You want fully extended, well, almost fully extended arms. Open palms. All the way across, all the way up, and all the way down. Full big circles. Are your hips still tucked? Or are you sticking your butt out again? Make sure your hips are tucked underneath you. And make sure your feet are still straight, because those feet, they'll move on their own. Make sure your feet are still straight, your butt's still tucked, and your shoulders are down. Okay, now, one last thing. When you first learn your windmills, everybody has a tendency to do this. What's wrong with this picture? They're going in the same direction. But everybody does this. Make sure you're coming across your body and up like you're waving hello. And the other one too. Hello. Opposite circles, both going upward like this. Up, up, up. Because everybody always, first start, ends up making the same direction circles. Now, make sure you're breathing nice and deeply. So I want you to take a big deep breath inward, and then when you exhale, you're going to start spinning your arms as fast as you can, okay? Here we go, deep breath in. Fast, fast, fast. as fast as you can. Big full circles. Don't start making tiny circles because you're going really fast. Keep your shoulders down and go fast, 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 as fast as you can. And slow down. Make sure you're breathing deeply. Now, we're not just going slow again. You need to make tight fists with your hands and act like you're squeezing the crap out of something. Squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them so tight. Make sure your hips are still tucked. Your shoulders are down. Your hands are still going in opposite circles, across and up, across and up. And while you're squeezing your fists, pretend like somebody is pushing against you the whole time. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Why are they pushing me, pushing me, pushing me? What the heck? Pushing against me. Why can't I make these circles? All the way around, though. Like there's just some big wheel attached to your hand and it just won't spin. And breathe deeply. Alright, now relax. We're going back to our regular windmills, nice and easy. Now if you want, you can take a second to get a glass of water because we're gonna switch it up. Stoi. Stay black.
Hi.
Okay. Now, shake out your legs. Give it a second. This is your first time putting your legs through such weird positions.
Hello, Toasty.
Hi, Toasty.
Hello, Kick Whipper.
Hi, Kick Whipper.
And Love Delic.
Hi, Love Dillick. Love Delic? Love
D-E
Dillick?
space L-I-C. Love Dillies.
Love Dillies.
Love Dilly.
Okay, now, again, your feet about a foot apart from your shoulders on each side, or about a foot away from your shoulders on each side. Your knees are bent, and your hips are tucked. Remember, I showed you the standing example when you go from this to this, with your hips tucked underneath you. When you're doing your stances, you sometimes don't realize it because you're bending your knees, you're getting into it, and your butt's sticking out. What is that? Hey, pop that bubble. You want to be nice and straight. And again, you don't want to over tuck, because then you end up doing this. So bad. That's so bad for everything. That's bad for your life. Don't do that. So not out, not overly in. Want your butt to be tucked so that you're straight. Beautiful. Right here. Okay? So, those were the 3 speeds of the windmills.
What are they called?
The 3 treasures. So, Now that we went through this grueling first round, we're going to learn our second stance. Okay? What you want to do is start off in your horse stance, knees bent, feet forward, your butt tucked, your shoulders down. And now you're going to pull your hands back to your waist. Not way up here. Those are my ribs. Not way down here. Those are your hips. Right here on your waist, right where your hips begin, but your waist is still there. I guess so, the tip of your hips. Hands on the tip of your hip.
Want to sleep. There it goes. Sorry.
We learn these things on day 1.
Keep going. I'm gonna make it where it doesn't sleep.
So stand up while you're doing it.
Hold the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, bruh. So, while he's doing that, teach you this second stance. So, we've got our hands pulled back, right at our waist. Now, make sure you're not like this, with your elbows out. You want to do the best you can to squeeze your elbows inward, like you're doing this, pulling them way back, right? But keep your hips tucked. Pull your elbows in. Try to make them as straight as possible, just like your feet, straight arms, straight life, okay? So you're like this. Are you like this?
Aye.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn to your left. So I believe I'll have to do the opposite. Yes.
Right here.
Yes. So you're going to be turning to your left, and I'll try to do the opposite side so you can still follow along. Okay. You're going to take your right leg and you're going to bend it forward a little bit. See how I'm kind of like just a slight drop, and we're learning it this way with a little bit of exaggeration so that we can later on be useful in learning our transitions. So, bend your right leg, and then you're going to turn your feet slightly. Turn your feet a little bit towards the left. And with your right leg, you're going to kind of start turning your body. And you're going to use that to turn you to the left. And at the end, when you straighten up that back right leg, I want you to kind of drive your heel into the ground, because you don't want your heel to be up. You're going to lose a lot of power that way. Keep your heel down. That's why it helps if you bend that right leg first, start turning your feet, and then when you're turned almost completely to the left, straighten up that back leg and really drive your heel down so that you're straight and your heel's down right from the beginning. And now that we're sideways, make sure you're not like this with your butt sticking out. You want to tuck your hips underneath you like this. And you'll know if your hips are tucked because you'll probably feel a lot of tension in this back right thigh. Do you feel tension in your thigh?
Yes.
Tension so nigh in my thigh, okay? Hips straight, tension in your thigh. It's supposed to be there. Now, this front leg needs to be bent just enough so that if you're looking at your left foot, you can just see the tops of your toes behind your knee. Just little toes on the horizon. What are they doing? They should be grabbing the ground, is what they're doing. That's right. Not only when you're facing the front in horse stance, but in every stance. You have to grab the ground with your toes. Remember, if this is the floor, this is your foot, grab the ground with your toes as much as possible. Okay. Micah, come this way.
Which way?
Right here, this way. No, face this way. Get in your side horse stance.
I'm in my side horse.
Side horse.
Side horse.
Are you gonna hit the wall doing your windmills?
Nah, I'll be okay.
Will you?
It's right on that line, but it won't hit.
It hit. Go forward a little bit.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll be good right here.
You gonna be good right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, now, we're gonna continue our windmills. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna go back to the front. And we're gonna do our windmills nice and easy. Remember, shoulders down. Your hips are tucked underneath you, and your feet are straight. You're doing these upward windmills, like you're waving hello, hello, hello. Now, we're also going to turn to the side, and we're going to do it the way that we just learned how to turn to the side, right? Instead of having our arms pulled back, we're going to have our arms moving in big circles. Okay, now, to turn to the left side, what we're going to do is when your right side arm's coming up, that means that your left side arm is down. And when that happens, you want to start bending that right leg so that you're kind of doing this number. While your arm's coming across your body, you're bending your right leg. And you're going to finish this circle, but while your left arm is finishing that circle and coming up to say hello, you start turning so that when you drive that right leg down into the ground with that heel that I told you about earlier, as that circle comes up, you face this new side, the left side. You say, hello, left side. I'm doing this. Okay, I'm gonna try it again.
Alright.
Front horse stance. Micah is doing his windmills. Now he's gonna slow down a little bit so he can start to kind of feel this motion. Beautiful. Okay, and we're gonna transition one more time. So follow along.
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Right. Okay, you're making your circles, and you're gonna slow down. Bend your knee. Boom. And then when that circle comes back up, that's when you drive that heel into the ground and you're facing the left side. And you just continue your windmills. Same as usual, like nothing's changed.
You're gonna have to go up a little bit.
I'm going.
How many? Alright.
I'm going, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, up. I thought you meant up. Yeah, that should be good, right?
Yeah, that's good. Alright.
So, we're going to continue our windmills. Make sure your back heel is down, touching the ground. I don't want to see your heel sticking up on your back leg. How would I see it anyway? I just know. Keep your heel firmly planted on the ground. You should feel that tension in your back thigh with your hips straight and squared up. When you first start out, it's really easy to be in your side horse stance, but you kind of have this thing going on where you're not completely facing the side. You're kind of like half and half doing this number. But if you feel like you're really having to take your right hand and like stretch across your body to make it feel like you're straight, that means that your hips are not squared forward. It means your hips are somewhere in between. They're not in your horse stance, they're not in your side horse stance, they're right here. So you need to make sure you take your hips and turn them completely squared up. Your shoulders and your hips squared up straight. The heel and the back of your right foot should be down on the ground. Your hips aren't like this, they're tucked up underneath you. And you can just barely see the toes. If you look over your left knee, just barely see your little toes sticking up. That's the way you want to be. Now, if while you're doing these circles, you feel off balance, like you have to do this or this, and you're all over the place wobbling, then that means you just need to widen your stance a little bit. And, maybe your feet are too much in a straight line, and you just need to take one of them and move it to the side a little bit to give yourself a little bit of a wider base. So, make sure you've got your balance, and now we're doing our windmills. And you're breathing deeply. Grabbing the ground with your feet. Your front leg is bent, so you can barely see the toes when you look down over your knee. Your back heel is down. And your shoulders are also down. And your arms are making nice big full circles, coming up about a hand's length above your face, going all the way across, all the way down, almost slapping your own knee. It's so low. It's right there. It's coming right across the top of your leg. Straight down almost. Across your body and up again. Same goes with this hand. They're both making nice full circles. Make sure you're breathing deeply, deeply, deeply. Now, just like we did before, you're going to breathe in, and you're going to start going as fast as you can. But make sure you keep doing big circles. Don't start doing tiny circles because you want to do them real fast. No, as fast as you can, which might not be that fast starting off, but try to go as fast as you can while making huge, big circles. Ready? And fast. And slow. Make tight, tight fists. Make sure you didn't lose your stance. Are your hips still tucked? Are your hips still square with the front? Is that heel still down, or did your heel pop up because you're going so fast? Make sure your heel is flat. Make sure you're breathing deeply. And again, squeeze your fists tight, tight, tight. So tight, like your fingernails are going to dig into your palms. And you have to act like something is resisting against you, like you're turning these big wheels. But they're so heavy, you can't turn them. Your whole arm is tense, tense, tense. Make sure you really are grabbing the ground with your toes, like really scrunch them up against the ground. And relax. Now we're gonna turn back to the front. And we're gonna do that by doing the opposite of what we did before. So you slow down. Okay. Now, when your right arm's coming down, start bending your front leg, your front left leg, and take your left hand, finish off that circle, and by the time it's up, you're facing the front. Boom, just like that. So let's try that again. Facing the side, the left side, making our circles. When your right arm comes across, with your right arm, your right leg should be back. So your right arm comes across, bend your front leg. So you should be like this now. And turn your body and keep your arms moving at the same time. And when you finish off your circle, you should be in your first stance that we did, the front horse stance. Boom, just like that. Make sure you're breathing very deeply. Now, we're going to turn to the right side. And again, we're going to try to do this the opposite so that we're facing the same way you're facing, like a mirror image.
Also, real quick, Celso War says, "Hello, how are you? I'm new here. I want to tell you something. So I'm an English teacher from Brazil, and I'm showing your stream for all my students. They're seeing you on the projector on the whiteboard. Say hi to some of them, please. Their names are Schneider, Eduardo, and Isabel?
Ezekiel, maybe? Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Hi, Schneider!
Hi, Eduardo.
Hi, Eduardo!
And hi, Ezekiel.
Hi, Ezekiel! Thanks for watching! This is our day 1. This is our first day doing this.
And also, Toasty asked, he said, does it matter if I'm heavy-handed? Not sure what he means by that.
What do you mean by heavy-handed, Toasty? But I don't think it matters if you're heavy-handed.
Unless you're just letting your hand, like, once you get it up here, it just falls. That's the only thing I could see it being.
Yeah, is that what you mean, Toasty? That your hand goes up and you're kind of like dropping it faster?
You're just slinging them up.
Then it's coming up? Because when we're doing the regular speed, which isn't really a speed at all, you're just kind of free flow. If your arms are dropping a little fast when you're doing this, that's okay. This speed is really just to get the feel of it, to get your get your blood flowing. So, I would say what you could do is when we're doing that nice and easy speed like this, try going kind of like different speeds. So try like coming up fast and dropping down slower, or dropping faster and coming up slower, or throwing in like a fast little burst for a second and then going slow, and then try making them both the same speed and maintaining the same speed. That's what this first, when I say nice and easy, when we're in the nice and easy mode, that's for you just to kind of feel what your arms are doing. Feel if your arms are moving with your legs, or maybe your legs aren't moving at all, and that's fine, because this is day 1. But just to feel the flow of it. So if you're changing speeds and your hands are dropping a little fast on this one, that's okay. But when we go to the fast mode, and we're going fast, try to make your full circles the same speed as each other. The same speed, just fast. as fast as you can. I don't know if we answered your question, Toasty. But if we didn't, let us know, because it is a good question. So now, we're going to turn to the side. The other side should be your right side, which is going to be our left side. Are you ready? Stance. Okay. Now, we're doing nice and easy. Breathing deeply. Your feet are straight forward. Knees are bent. Your hips are tucked. And your shoulders are down. You don't want to start raising your shoulders up because it can really upset your neck. Okay, we're still making our big upward circles like we're coming across our body and saying, hi, hello, hi there, I'm still here. Okay? Now just like we did to turn left, we're going to turn right. So what that means is you take the opposite hand and we're going to slow down our circles now. Keep doing your circles the whole time. Keep doing your windmills. When your left hand is up saying hi, and when your right hand is down right here about to cross in front of your legs is when you want to bend your left knee forward just like we did with the other side. And then start turning to the side. Make sure your feet are turning. Your whole body is turning to the side. Keep this leg bent. And when your right arm comes up, that's when you take your back leg, your left leg, and you really drive your heel into the ground. Yeah, you don't want to turn on the balls of your feet and then you just kind of, oh, I'm here now. No. So let's try it again, because these transitions can be a little tricky. You've got your left hand up, and your right arm is coming down across your body. You bend the left leg. Then when your right arm starts coming up to say hello, you start turning your body, and then you drive your heel into the ground and finish your circle. Okay, I'm going to watch Micah now. Nice and slow. Bends his leg. Boom. He drives his his heel into the ground. Alright, one more transition. Here you go, making your circles. Now you're going to bend the knee and drive your heel into the ground. Okay? And remember, when you're in your side, drive your heel into the ground. Keep doing your circles.
Oh, okay.
As that hand's finishing that circle, because what that does is it helps to turn your body 100% to the side. And just like with the other side, you have to make sure your hips are square to the front. You don't want to have half hips like this, because then you'll start feeling like you really have to move this arm across to get straight again, you know? And that's how you know. If you feel like you're really starting to pull on your shoulder, make sure your hips are square straight with your shoulders. Shoulders, hips, and your feet should both be facing the front. Keep going. And your hips should be tucked, just like this. Your hips shouldn't be sticking out. What I mean by that, it's hard to tell when you're doing your side stances, but if you're like this, that's not right. Okay? You have to have your hips tucked underneath you like this. And again, you should feel tension in this thigh, like all the way down to your knees sometimes even.
Right.
The whole thing is tight. That's how you know that your hips are tucked underneath you, because your legs will automatically want to start doing something. They're trying to get your power building up. That's how you know. So, now, if you're doing your circles and you're usually throwing off balance, that means either A, you're not grabbing the ground. Okay. Or B, if you're throwing yourself off, like I was showing earlier, and you're just kind of like wobbling, trying to keep your balance, that means that your feet are too close together. You're practically making a straight line with your feet. So you take one of your feet, it could be the back foot, and just move it over so that's almost as wide as your shoulders are, but they're still like this, front and back. Okay? And make sure this front leg is bent so that you can just barely see the tops of your toes when you look down. Alright, get a water. Okay, we're in our side stance.
Alright.
Alright. You're not gonna hit the thingy, are you?
The wall?
Or this? No.
No,
Okay.
no, no. I'm well in front.
Okay. Now, you've got your hips square with your shoulders facing straight. Your hips, your butt's not sticking out, your hips are tucked underneath you. So your back is straight. And we're making nice big circles. Make sure you're breathing deeply, deeply. Make sure you're scrunching your toes up against the ground, grabbing the ground with your toes. Make sure you take a nice deep breath. And on this next big deep breath in, when we exhale, we're going to start going fast, fast, fast. Make sure I got some of the face so I don't hit Micah.
I want you to hit me.
I'm not. Alright, ready?
Mm.
Breathe in. And fast, 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 fast. And slow. Tight fists. Remember, you want to feel this tension like something's pushing against you. Something is pushing against you so hard while you're trying to make these circles. What the heck? So your whole arm should be tense, like you're always flexing, but making circles while you do it. Okay, now relax. Nice and easy. And now, we're going to do the opposite of what we just did. Bend our front leg while our left hand's coming up and face towards the front. Okay? Transition again. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. Breathe nice and deep from here. Breathe in. No, opposite.
Oh yeah.
You breathe in, pull your stomach in. Breathe out, drop it down, but it stays tight to the body. You never poof it out.
This isn't chorus practice.
No, it's not. It's called reverse breathing.
Okay.
Alright?
Right.
So you're doing your transitions.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. Bends the leg. Boom. It's facing front. And notice how his arms are in perfect time. He bends his knee, and the arm that's going to be open, saying hello while he's facing the front, that's the one that kind of helps him come face the front, you know, kind of pulls you. It's like your whole body is moving as one big circle. Okay? Could demonstrate this beautiful transition again. Boom! Beautiful. Beautiful. Now make sure your feet are facing forward. Beautiful.
That better?
Yep. Yeah, it's beautiful. I just need you to move back a little bit. There you go. And go over a little bit. Yeah, because I don't want you to be blocked down. Oh. There, like that.
Alright.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright.
Okay. Because I like being staggered like that. Now we're back facing the front. We're gonna get crazy now. And we're gonna stop. And we're gonna switch directions. So now, instead of your arms coming across your body and saying hello, like that scene on Pocahontas where she's like Wangapo, or however it is, Wangapo. You're gonna stop midway, and we're gonna go downward across your body. Like you're gonna bring down some sort of big hammer, like poof, poof, poof. But you don't have to, you know, make them big and wide like that. I was just for demonstrative purposes. Same as the upward windmills, right? Kind of like this in front of you, not really reaching far back behind you or anything like that. Just kind of like this radius in front of you. Same thing, but going down across your body instead of up across your body. Okay, make sure your feet are facing forward. And make sure you haven't fallen into the same direction trap again. And you're not doing this number, even though they might be doing different speeds. That's the same direction. They need to be going different directions. You'd be surprised. Almost everybody starts going the same direction at some point. So you're coming down across your body. And you've got your hips. Where are they? They should be underneath you. Exactly. Micah gets an extra point. Don't let him pass you.
Yay!
Don't let it go to your head.
It's going to my hips.
Going straight to the hips, exactly. He gets an extra point.
Yay!
You see that? Can't slack off around this guy. He'll shoot straight to the top. Okay, breathing deeply. Your hips are tucked. Your shoulders shouldn't be like this. They should be down. You're not making tiny circles like this.
That's how I feel.
You're making nice big circles. Again, the same thing as the upward windmills. With your hand about a hand's length above your face, all the way across the body, and almost a full extension to the side. The whole thing. Be nice big circle. Breathe deeply. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. The three speeds, or the three treasures. This is the nice and easy one. Then we're gonna go fast. And then after we go fast and we slow down, we want you to hold that tension. Okay? But now all I'm gonna say is fast, and then I'm gonna say slow when we get to the powerful one. Okay? So make sure you take deep breaths. On your next big breath, Make these circles as fast as you can, and make sure you don't end up with straight legs. A lot of people end up with straight legs. No, make sure your knees are bent, your hips are tucked, because this will help you make nice, fast circles, because your whole body will be into it, okay? You ready? Nice big breaths. And fast, fast, fast. Slow. Squeeze your fists. Keep that tension, like you're flexing in the mirror, but you're making circles while you do it for some reason. Make sure you didn't lose your stance. Your knees should be bent. Make sure you're not taking tiny breaths. Now relax your arm. Nice and easy again. Most important thing is keep your breathing nice. Sometimes it feels like you can't catch your breath. That's when you have to force yourself, force those lungs to take in the air, okay? Okay, now we're going to turn to the left again. Your left, our right. So you can watch the mirror image. Now this is just like before, except now we're making downward circles. Okay, so if you slow down your windmills, when your left arm's coming across, bend your right leg. Okay, when it's coming across, bend your right leg. Now your right arm should be about to come up. And while they're doing that, start turning towards the side. And then while you drop that hammer across your body, that's when you drive that heel down into the ground. And now you're facing the left side. So we can practice that transition. Nice and slow, making our windmills. Nice and slow. That left arm comes across. The right leg bends. We start turning to the left and then straighten that leg when this arm comes across. Okay, one more time. Arm comes across, bends his leg, and then puts his heel down. Not bad.
That was a little sloppy.
Yeah, doing it. Try to keep that tension in your thigh. It'll help you keep your heel down. Keep that tension. Oh.
That hurt a little bit.
But you see how it popped you? Tension, tension, tension. Boom! There you go. That was beautiful. And your feet are straight, your hips are straight. Are your hips tucked underneath you? There you
No,
go.
maybe not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you do feel it on the top of your thigh.
You feel it right on your thigh. Make sure your hips aren't trying to run away and take your butt with them, okay? When you're facing the side, this is the most common time for your hips to get out from being underneath you, okay? So if you're like this, and you don't feel any tension in that thigh, your back thigh, your right thigh, then chances are your hips aren't tucked. So tuck your hips underneath you. Instantly, boom, you feel that tension right there in that thigh. Like now it's working, it's doing something. Okay? Make sure your hips are tucked.
And this is where I'll have to be.
And your hips are straight. Okay? Straight shoulders, straight hips, straight feet. Now again, if you're doing these and you're off balance and you're pulling this number, then take one of your feet and move them wider from each other, just a little bit, and then you should have your balance back. Okay, you ready? That's where you have to be?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you've got extra space to go back right there. Okay.
A little bit.
Okay, so is this good for you?
Hmm.
Okay, now our heel is down, our hips are tucked, so we feel that tension in our back right thigh. Our hips are straight, our shoulders are straight, our shoulders are down, they're not scrunched up. We're making our big downward windmills. And we're breathing deeply. Okay, take a nice deep breath, and you're gonna go fast. Okay, slow. Squeezing your fists. Make sure your back heel is down. Make sure your heel didn't come up. Make sure your hips are still straight. Make sure your hips are still tucked. Okay, now relax your arms, nice and easy. Okay, now you're gonna bend your front knee. And you're gonna face the front. Okay? While that left hand is coming across. Your left hand comes down in front of you. Then it goes down by your leg. You bend that front leg. Then while that left arm's coming back around, turn towards the front. Okay, now we're going to transition to the right side. Okay? Your arms are coming down. While your right arm comes across your body, you're going to bend your left leg. And then when your left arm is coming across the top, you start turning. And then you're going to drive your heel into the ground and finish your turn. Okay, if you want to demonstrate this.
Would try.
Hang in there, almost done.
I know, getting
Day one's
my
always
butt. First day it sucks.
Day one always sucks.
Kicking my butt.
Nice and easy. Bends his leg, he transitions to the side. Okay, do it one more time. Make sure your hips are tucked. There you go. So with you, Micah, make sure you can really feel this circle here, this arc that it makes. Make sure you can feel it in time with this. You're gonna treat this like it's spring loaded, right? And this is pulling the lever, if you will. Okay? So it comes across, you bend that leg, And the lever's got all that tension, 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 and when it drops in front of you is when you straighten that out and let that spring go.
Okay.
Okay? That's why your body works as one unit. Boom! Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, hold it, hold it, hold it. Okay. We're almost done. If you've made it this far, you're an animal. Scoot over a little bit. Thank you. Are you still good?
Right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, your hips are square. Your hips are tucked underneath you because you feel the tension in this back thigh. Get in your stance.
Hi.
And your back thigh. Tension right here. Oh. Your front leg is bent so that when you look at your foot, you can see just the tops of your toes. Now, I say that. Here, bring this foot back. But if you're like this, and you can just barely see the tops, well, then that's nice. But look at Micah's stance. It's so tiny, you know? Look at him. He's barely feeling any tension in his legs. He could grab the ground easily. He has no problem keeping his heel down. It's probably not even stretching his leg to keep his heel down. No, that's not what it's about. It's not doing what's easy. It's doing just that little bit that's gonna make you push yourself a little bit extra, okay? So make sure you put that leg up there. Micah's got long legs, so he can afford to stretch them a little bit. Make sure you can just barely see the tops of the toes. Your heels down. Your hips tucked. Exactly. And your hips square to the front. Okay, beautiful. If anybody's wondering why once in a while I just walk over and push Micah, I don't push him very hard, but I do that just to make sure that he's got the proper width of his feet, so his feet aren't just like a straight line, like I've been saying. If you're easily put off balance, here, you can push me. If you're easily off balance, that means most likely your feet are too narrow. Now if you spread them out a little bit, not too much, probably about shoulder width or less. I wouldn't go any wider than shoulder width. Now if Micah tries to push me, push him back. Push back. Alright. This is our last section, our second to last section of our windmills. So, here we go. Make sure your stance is good. Let me get out of Micah's way. Find my own spot to do my own damn windmills.
There you go. I'm good.
Okay, your hips are tucked. Your hips are square to the front. You can barely see the toes, the front of your feet. And your back heel is flat against the ground. And we're making nice big circles. Downward circles. Okay. Make sure you're breathing deeply. And get ready to go fast, fast. Take a deep breath. Speed it up. Slow it up. I said slow it up. Slow it down. And keep that tension like you're flexing, but making circles. Make sure your front knee is bent. Okay, nice and easy. Loosen up the arms. And now we're going to turn to the front. Do a front ways transition. Okay, to go back to the front, you bend your front leg. And when you finish your circle, you straighten it up. Similar to when we're turning to the side, but you only go halfway. And when you end up halfway, make sure your feet are facing as straight forward as possible. And your hips are tucked.
Hi.
Okay, one more transition, and we're almost done. We've come this far. Here we go. Boom. Beautiful. Okay. Alright, Micah. Real quick, I just want you to turn sideways. And
Side horse?
front horse, but sideways.
Oh.
Since Micah is a man and I'm a female, I showed you what it looks like when I'm doing the stance, hips tucked, everything like that. But Micah's got a little bit of different proportions, so if there's anybody out there with proportions of the male variety, this should give you a better example of what you should look like. You should be nice, straight back, not leaning back, not hunched forward like this, straight. It was actually really difficult to even get him to move. He's so rigid. He's like an old breadstick. Look at this guy.
An old breadstick.
Look at him. He's so hard, indestructible. And you can be that way too. This is only day one. That was a beautiful stance. So, going side horse facing this way. Side horse face me.
Face you?
Side horse face me.
Like that?
Yes. So this is side horse, and your transition to full horse.
Oh, okay.
Okay? He's doing his down windmills. Boom! And you see, as soon as he's in his front full horse stance, he's immediately, his hips are tucked, his butt's not sticking out, he's not leaning forward, he's not leaning back. Beautiful posture, nice and straight. His head is level. You can't ask for more than this. Well, actually, if you could move your feet, make your feet point forward a little bit more.
Sorry.
Can't ask for more than that. That's a beautiful example. Okay? Go back.
Go back where?
Go back to where we were doing our windmills space. So now we're facing the front, and we're doing our last windmills right here. This is it. So we're gonna give it everything we've got. Now that we're the most tired, now that we're the most sweaty, now that we just can't wait to stop, please stop, just stop. We're gonna go a little bit harder right here at the end, okay? So you're doing your downward windmills, hips tucked underneath you, your back is straight, feet are facing front, your shoulders are down, and you're breathing deeply. The most important thing, don't want you hyperventilating out there. It's very important. It's very dangerous. You have to breathe deeply. Now we're about to go fast. You ready, Micah?
Hi.
Breathe deep. And we're going to hold it for a few extra seconds, okay?
Hi.
Ready? And fast. Slow. breathe deeper. Remember, keep this tension. You should almost feel like you have to squeeze your whole body just to move these arms. And relax your arms. Nice and easy. And close it up. Good job, kid. Now, little trick to help your body calm down. So if you're here, stand with your feet, I did not forget the word for feet, shoulder width apart, and you're going to bend them a little bit. Take your hands and you're going to turn them up towards you, and you're going to breathe in and raise them up, and also straighten your legs. Turn them, and then bend your legs, and breathe out. One more. Whoa, that was crazy. If your legs feel a little bit shaky, like when you hold your stances and they start shaking a little bit, that's perfectly normal. That happens to everybody. It's called the shaky leg. Everybody gets it? Means you're doing something. You're working out your muscles deep inside your muscles, and your body might not be used to it. So if you got the shaky leg today, then good job, because that's awesome. Not everybody can push themselves like that. That's a big deal.
And also, like Deathblade says, guys, what is this?
This will never help you unless you're fighting an infant. Even then, this might fail you. I'm confused who the trainer is. Is it the guy and the girl is just revising stuff? Or is it the woman? Then he says, I saw a Spencer who was on iCarly. It was extremely effective on Freddy. Is that your BF? Why does the guy have bigger bulbs? Bulbs, your uncle! I don't know, man. I don't know why. No, this is my husband, Micah. I'm training him, but since he has already trained with me for a while now, he's like pretty much the student, and he's also the example for me to use when I can't point and use myself to point out different things, because then it would be awkward and I would break my stance. So in order for me to show things, he's like a diagram, but a live person.
It's okay. You can call me a dummy.
Oh my god! Yes. And also, there's more to Kung Fu than just fighting. It's about getting strong. And this is day 1. And maybe a few days, however many days later on, you'll find out what I had to learn which is that everything you learn helps you in fighting. Everything, even the smallest things. It blew my mind. So, thank you for hanging out with us today on day 1. I know we had a bunch of issues setting up at the beginning. Well, not a bunch of issues, but it was a little slow to set up. But still, you hung out with us for like an hour and some change. That's crazy. So now, we're going to do our salute, and we're out of here. And we hope to catch you next time.
Which will be
Thursday. Same time.
At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright. Jin Kai Shui. Chi So Su. Thank you again for hanging out with us. Or should I say shit? Yeah, and we'll see you next time. Thursday, 5 p.m.
Hi.
Make sure you wear comfy pants.
And also, if you missed the lesson today, we will be uploading a video of it. Probably won't be up immediately, but there will be one. And then, yeah, next time will be second day of training. So, hoping that this can walk somebody from day 1 not doing anything until the point where Maria's at, which is pretty much mastering it. So
no, it's far from mastering anything, actually.
But yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it. Thanks for hanging out
Bye, thank
on
you guys.
day 1.
Yes.
And we'll catch you on day 2.
Hi.